Artistic Gamers 7, and welcome back to another Create a Sim video. This is the Create a Sim of the Sims that I use for the Occult discussion honor roll mentions thumbnail. Now, when I first put the video out, the thumbnail actually did not have pictures of the Sims. Probably either the day before this video or maybe the same day of this video comes out. The thumbnail should have been changed. And the reason for that is because of the recent update due to the recent pack, which I did not get. There was some mods broken, and I was trying to figure out which ones it was, and the ones that were broken were affecting my little drop-down thing that shows the Sims. So, like, to teleport or summon a Sim using the teleporter mod in the pose player for what I need to do these poses for the thumbnail was like broken. So I could not actually, like, it would only show the Sims that were in the household or in the immediate area, and considering I just had made these Sims, they wasn't anywhere near the household because I go to the same household every time because I use my Sim as a continuing thing with the thumbnails. So it's a household that has her in it, and I use her, and then I just summon the rest of them because that's how I do it. There's no point in adding them, because if I did that, I'd have to add them and then evict them and then add the new group, then evict that group to add the newest group. So I just don't do all that. But when I would go to the summon thing, it showed no one at all. So it was completely broken, and I was trying to figure out what it was. And at this point, I'm still trying to figure it out, but I took basically any of the mods out that wasn't ones that I needed to keep in. So, like, the CC for how they look, some of the build CC, because some of the sets that I use, actually, like the sets that I make, I have, like, building CC. And I figured those two wouldn't be breaking this thing anyway. I figured it had to be something that was more like a mod than custom content. And I had upgraded MCC, because that was one of the first things I tried, just to see if it was something with that, because that's the main mod. But some of the mods that I recently started having, I sort of forget that I have. I think I've after moving them out, I think it's the UI extensions mod, so I think it's probably that one. That's the one I'm testing right now. I removed all, like I said, I removed all mods that was not necessary to take these screenshots, and they work just fine. So it definitely is a mod, and it's not MCC or anything like that. After I've updated them, I updated anything I could that I possibly needed for this. So I did check all those things, and it's not those things. And I just put the UI extensions mod back in, and I'm reloading the game as we speak to try to see. It takes a while for my game to load because of all the custom content, so I'm just letting it load in the background while I do this. So if it's broken then I know that's probably what I need to update, which I probably should just go ahead and update it anyway. I just want to make sure it's not that, because some of the things I have, that's one that is updated constantly, but I'm afraid at some point someone's gonna stop updating something that I have in mine. So if it's something that is not been updated, then I just need to remove it. So I just want to make sure that that is it. I hope it is, because like I said, that one keeps updating, so should be good to go on that. But anyway, let's actually get to the video here. So for the mentions, I basically, I was just talking about any of the candidates that I didn't know exactly how to incorporate into Sims as like a play style or something like that. But at the same time, I thought they should be mentioned because people had, that tweet that I did a long time ago, people mentioned them in it to a certain degree. So, I still wanted to mention them and get you all's feedback to see if any of them you can actually come up with ways that maybe I couldn't come up with. But I still wanted to make Sims for it, so I did just pick 3 Sims that I thought that I could try to do something with, like 3 of them, at least in Create a Sim, because obviously gameplay-wise can't do anything. But so I decided to do the Changeling / Shapeshifter, the Cat, and the Fawn / satyr or whatever. I don't know how it's said. So, right now you are seeing the changeling, and I will say with her, I went more off of sort of what I've seen when it comes to more like like the actual changeling versus the shapeshifter. I don't know what the biggest difference is between them, because I haven't really looked into. I just know with changeling, what I know about a changeling is it tends to usually be a personoid type thing or some sort of race type thing. Like in terms of like D&D and other game and other things like that. So the changelings could turn into any human, they could turn into like a dragonborn or whatever. So something along those lines, and I went with more closer to white, like just because like, I have the white hair. I even put the one tattoo on the white to have the white arm, just because that seems like, to me, when you start a new painting or a new drawing and stuff like that, you usually start with a white background, except for a lot of digital artists, I think it's more of a grayish black background, but still, as for me, I'm more used to like canvases and things like that. So it's something to put colors over top of easily and change easily. So that's why I went with the very, very pale sort of look going on. I gave her, I forget what it's called, vitiligo or whatever, those patches, but not to say that she has them. I'm going with more of the fact that, to show that maybe it's changing, the skin is changing, or maybe that she's changed so much throughout her life that certain patches of her skin, when she's in her normal form or her normal self, that they're just slightly off from the rest of her skin. The same with the arm tattoo that I gave her. It's just slightly, it's off compared to the rest of her, because either she's in the process of changing or she's changed too much, and now, like, when she's in her regular thing or whatever, something that it's sort of like just a thing that she's gotten to have to deal with. But I had a lot of fun making these characters. Actually, I really like all three of them. I think the changeling is probably my second favorite. My first favorite is the cat, which is the one that is starting right now. Not that that would be really a surprise, but at the same time, I actually was really, really happy with how the changeling turned out, more so than I thought I was going to, because I didn't really, other than trying to use basically very pale tones and get as close as to like the solid white in some cases that I could, so that it was like she's like a fresh canvas in a way. That's the only theme I went with there, but I didn't know like if I was gonna give her hair or how much hair. I did sort of want to, but yeah, so I was just sort of experimenting as I went on, and I thought the necklace and earrings with the crystals sort of looked cool. Maybe there's like some magical ability in those or something, or we can pretend. So yeah, but yeah, I had a lot of fun making her as well. But this one right here, that is the cat, is my favorite, which I already had CC for this, and the changeling, where I was going with what I was going for, I knew I had CC that I could easily do that as well, with all the whites and stuff. And so that's partially why I chose to do those two, because I knew I had stuff that I could probably easily make that with, because instead of like looking for stuff for some of the others, because some of the others may have been harder to look for or whatever, but I already had it, so I can go right away in and going in. The only thing I did look for this video was antlers, because of the fawn/satyr, so I did actually go and get some antlers for them, and I found 2 sets of antlers, and one was more realistic and one was, I mean, it still looked like slightly realistic, but it had like little things hanging off of it. And at first, I didn't want that one, but I'll change my mind. But I'll get to that a little bit later, because right now we're on the kitty, we're on the cat girl. One of the things with these is I don't really know, in terms of Sims, how to make them different from just a human. Because, like, in other games and stuff like that that have cat creatures, like Skyrim has the Khajiit, I know Final Fantasy, I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy has cat, like, humanoids. I don't know what they're called because I don't play the online one, and I actually hadn't played Final Fantasy at all. I'd wanted to, but me not actually even bothering to look into it, never realized that some of the stories didn't really go into each other, and it didn't necessarily matter for you to actually play the first so many. I wish I would have looked into it sooner, but I have played Final Fantasy VII now, but the online version I have not played, and I think that's the version that has, like, a lot of these other stuff in them, because it takes, like, them from different Final Fantasies and brings these creatures all into one universe. But, you know, I haven't played but 7, and I haven't finished it yet, so, yeah. Anyway, point is, I'm pretty sure they have something, I just don't know what they're called, and then in D&D, they're called Tabaxi. So not only is there not, like, a constant thing that they're called no matter what they're in, like, fairies are typically always fairies, and witches are all, though, you know, Sims still changed that to spellcasters, but still, vampires are always really vampires, werewolves are always werewolves, or lycan, like, they technically have 2 names, but still, they're always referred to one of those 2 names. I think there's another name for vampire, technically, but anyway, so yeah, but the cats don't even have, like, something that would unify the name, so they would have to come up on something on their own. But also, like, in those games, there's combat, there's, like, other things that you have to do that make sense, that would give the cat person a unique thing, and a unique ability, and something that, you know, gives them difference and an edge up on certain things. So, in terms of Sims, I don't know what that would be. I mean, it'd be hilarious if they can play with the cat toys, and, like, maybe if they actually could talk to the cats, like, you know, they can have a conversation, and speech bubbles would actually pop up above the cats if you have cats and dogs, that is like they're actually talking to them. So, you know, like, little features like that, but I just don't know if it's enough there to make a full thing. But that's why they were in the honorable mentions. But I did really like how she turned out. She is my favorite, but I like all 3 of them, and honestly, when I was taking pictures of them, I loved them so much that I was like, would it be weird for me to try to do, like, a series based off of these 3 at some point in time in the future? Even though they are not actually, like, playable occult races, I would just be sort of making this up as I go. Like, I sort of really want to, but I'll see. We'll see how that goes in the future. Right now, I'm more focused on getting the Fame Trio to the mansion. But anyway, that's a totally different story. Let's get back to this. So this is the Fawn / Satyr. I just called her a Fawn for easy purposes of typing. But yeah, she is adorable. She's the most adorable one. And like I was saying before, I did have 2 different antlers. I couldn't find the first set originally, and then I think when I found the first set, I put it on her, and I ended up liking this one more. The other set that was more realistic, I think, had better spacing and stuff like that, because antlers just aren't, like, going out in a straight line, usually. They actually have curve to them and stuff like that, and the dimension and things, so, but these are just all the points and stuff are all in a straight line on her. But at the same time, the fact that there was these little things in them, I just got an idea that maybe she's clumsy or something like that, and she keeps getting stuff hung in her antlers. So I thought that was actually sort of funny and cute after putting them on, so I ended up keeping them. I didn't end up changing them for her. But I did want to go with a very cutesy vibe with her, and I wanted to go with mostly browns throughout. So that is why she has this brown outfit, but I thought she ended up very, very, very adorable. So I really liked how all 3 of them turned out. They're some of my favorites that I think I've made for the Sims Occult discussions, oddly enough, and they're just for the honorable mentions. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed them and like how they turned out as well. Let me know down in the comments below who was your favorite one, and if you would like to see these guys in the future for something and have me try to do something with them. There is going to be a link down in the description below to the Sims 4 Occult discussion playlist, as well as the particular video that these 3 were made for. Definitely make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss future Sims 4 Occult discussions, as well as the creator Sims behind them. And also hit the notification bell so that you know when another video goes up. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!